Shalom, family. How are we? Have we spent time with the Most High? Have we read scripture or read a chapter? I'm praying that you did. Have you worked out today? Taking a walk? I mean, it might be cold, might be winter. Did you do some jumping jacks or something? We need to do something to keep ourselves healthy. Okay, this video is going to be um, probably like one of my older videos when I first began. I made a video not too long ago about how you should not just allow anybody to pray for you because you don't really know their motives. You don't know who they're praying to, right? So I've been going through and I made videos saying I've been going through and I haven't made videos in a couple of days because I'm still going through mentally. I don't want to be making videos where I'm just bawling and crying. I don't want to do that. So I just opted out of making videos at all. Um, this video is going to be really raw. And it has to be because in order for me to get the message out there, I have to be raw. And I've always said, my channel, I'm going to always be transparent and I'm going to be honest. Never said that I would say everything that's going on in my life. But there are certain things I feel like needs to be talked about, especially when I pray about it and I'm getting a download, talk about it. Okay. Um, okay, so this video, I wrote some things down. Y'all know I always write things down. I have two things. No, actually, okay. I have two things that I'm going to talk about. I wrote it down twice. I forget things a lot, like for real. So I'll be like writing things down when it comes to me. So I wrote this one down twice. Let me mark this off. So I have two things that's on here that's going to be in this one video. All right, let's go back a little bit. So if you've seen any of my videos at all, you know that I was raised in a horrible way. I was abused in every way you can think of. I literally call my growing up, my childhood was torture. It's the only word that made sense to me, torture. Um, and when you're tortured growing up from very young, um, I can remember as far back as 4. It was horrible. Even though I wasn't living with my dad at the time, I was living with a lady named Mary Lee Comer, my dad's friend, I guess. She wasn't a friend of the family. My dad used to do odd jobs for people when he was growing up, and she was one of them. He used to cut her grass and take out her trash, just do little things, and she would pay him. And I guess over the years, he had trust in her, and he liked her, and he cared for her. Um, and so he trusted her to take care of me. Now, he never lived with her, but he did say that there were times when his my grandmother wouldn't feed him, and he would go to her house. Miss Mary was always cooking, and she would feed him and things like that. But he's never like lived in her home. So I guess just with the interaction that they had, he felt that she would be okay for me to live with. So living with her initially was fine. I moved in with her when I was about 4, and it was fine in the beginning. And then things started to happen. Um, I grew up, I was born in 1968, so growing up in that time, children were not being heard. You spoke when spoken to was the rule. And if you spoke when you weren't spoken to, you liable to get hit in the mouth with a shoe, a backhand, switch, or whatever, right? So, like I said, different times. So when things would happen, you know, I just kept it to myself and I didn't say what was happening. Um, I mean, I would try, but I realized that I just need to stop talking. Just let it go. So I would hold things in. And so you go from that to the other homes that I lived in and then to my dad's house where it became 1,000 times worse. So as far back as I can remember, I've just been tortured. Mm, This is for educational purposes only. Tortured, molested, beat on, just hurt. I felt unloved. I felt uncared for. I felt like nobody wanted me, right? So let's fast forward a little bit. Now I'm 16 years old and I'm pregnant. Um, I'm 16, first of all. I had my son when I'm 17, and how do I know how to be a mother? I don't know how to be a mother. And then not being loved, Now I'm not gonna say that there was no one ever that loved me growing up. My grandfather, um, I was probably around 5 when I moved in with my grandparents because I was living with Mary. Then I was living with my grandparents. Well, no, I take that back. I was living with my grandparents and then I moved in with Mary. So when I was living with my grandparents, I'm still around 4, because my grandmother and my father got into it. So I didn't know, but he was paying them for me to stay there. So once he got mad at her, he didn't want to pay her anymore for me to stay there, and so I moved in with Mary, and then Mary got paid for me to stay there. Um, yeah, in the 70s, getting $250 a month plus clothing allowance for a child or just, to let me stay there, that was a lot of money. So a lot of stuff made sense to me when I got older. Because I didn't learn about that information until after my dad passed, because I cleaned out his apartment once he passed and I read some stuff and I saw some stuff and my mouth was to the floor, I just was like, wow. But anyway, so now I'm pregnant. I have a baby. I don't know what to do. I'm really homeless because after my father found out that I was pregnant, he put me out. He didn't want me to stay in his house anymore. I'm a dumb bee, and I ain't nothing but a hoe and a slut and all of the things. And so I was again house to house, staying with whoever will let me stay. I literally stayed in the car the guy I was pregnant by. Um, slept in his car in the driveway because his mom didn't like me. First of all, he was a lot older than me. I was a child. I was in high school. He was working. He was in 23, I believe. I was 15. So like his mom, I understand it today, like why she was like that. This is a child, you shouldn't be with her. Because I remember the first day I met her, she said, "Why do I want to be with him? He's nothing but a baby maker." And I'm just like, what does that mean? Didn't know that I was already pregnant, but I'm like, what in the world does that mean? But anyway, um, so now this person who's been tortured, sexually abused, physically abused, all of these things is now a mother. She don't know nothing about that. She's not been loved. She's had people who's loved her, but it didn't outweigh the other part of my life, right? So now I'm a mother, and I'm the mother that I said I would never be. I always said that I was going to love my baby. I was going to be the best mother that I could be, and my baby's going to love me, and all the things. That was my intention. And then I wasn't. I was the complete opposite of what I wanted to be. I was the complete opposite of what I knew my son deserved, but I didn't know anything else. I was trying so hard. Now, mind you, I have a child now. I do still live house to house, um, but yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be a mother. Don't know what that is, because mind you, I never met my mom. At this point, I didn't even know mother. Like it didn't really register growing up. She just wasn't ever there, you know. Everybody else. I had all these other people around. I would call all these other women mom and all the things, but yeah, I never knew my mom, never knew her name, didn't even know what she looked like, no pictures, no nothing, you know. So I'm trying to be a mom, still trying to figure my own self out. And I was so angry. I was angry. I hated everybody and everything. And then my first child was a boy, which made it really hard because I had an issue with men. But now I have a son that I'm raising. Through the torture that I was raised in, it was terrible. Mm. I was a horrible mom. Horrible. I was everything that I said I wouldn't be. I was everything that everyone was to me. But I really could not control myself. I had no self control at all, like at all. Um, and I have my daughter. Yeah, I'm in my 20s, but I'm still that angry woman. I don't know no better. And again, I'm just horrible. Um, and here was the craziest part of it all. I didn't know that I was so bad. I know you're probably saying, well, how you didn't know? It was what I knew. This is it. This is the way I live. This is how everything went on in my life. So it didn't even matter whose house I was in. Like this is just the way it is. So I didn't even realize it. In my head, it was everybody else that was getting on my nerves. It was everybody else that was wrong. It was everybody else, but never me. I never took accountability for anything. So now let's fast forward. So I have grown children that was raised in torture from a woman who was raised in torture, them generational curses, right? Because I think about it. I've listened to stories about my dad, and I've heard stories. He had, I think it was this wrist, where he had this big old knot, like his, his, this bone here was like huge. And I remember asking him, like, what happened. And he was like, yeah, that man that you love so much was my granddad. He beat me with a 2x4 because my sister said I hit her. I used to hear little stories here and there, and I could tell he didn't have a great growing up either. Again, them generational curses, right? They follow you. And then your adult children have children, and you see You see what you've done, and you can't fix it. You can't change it. Now, I'm healing. I'm trying to be better. I'm doing differently, but I can't go back and change what I've done, right? And then to see my Grinch, to see the mistakes through the raising of my grandchildren. And I remember saying years ago that I wanted the abuse to stop with me. But how could it stop with me if I was abusive to my own children? And so now I'm not gonna say they because my son he deals with his children in a different way. For my daughter, she's me, and so now that I live here and I see what I've done, it makes me so angry because I want to change it for my grandson because I don't want my grandchildren to continue with this pattern, you know? Um, I'm sorry. So in my prayers, in my trying to find healing, in my trying to find the Most High, and in my journey of becoming the woman He's called me to be, the Most High, He has a way of doing things, right? This thing is so tight. The Most High has a way of doing things that, you pray for something and you don't know how the answer is going to come, right? But you have to trust the process. You have to trust Him. You have to know that He's got you no matter what. So then the situation came about to where I have to live with my daughter, right? Not had to. I'm not even gonna say it was a had to, but it was the choice that was made. It was the decision that was made. And I didn't make it. Like I didn't make it. I agreed to it, but I didn't make the decision. Um, I can remember when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, my dad had gotten sick. He had cancer. He had I can't even think of the name of this cancer, but when men get it in the backside, I guess. Um, Whatever. He went to the doctor and his eyes were like yellow, and the doctor was telling him like, it's like stage 4, and he it was like which was weird because when I was a kid, he used to go to the doctor on a regular basis, but then it was like once I moved away, he was with himself. And when you're by yourself and things have a way of showing you, um, he was lonely. He he talked to me so differently. It was like the roles reversed. I was his mom and he was my little boy. And it was weird. It was frustrating and irritated me. And I remember him asking me, could he come live with me? I thought, live with me? There is no way in the world you could live with me. I didn't say that to him. I just listened to him. And when I hung up, I broke down because I thought, back in the day, he had such a hold over me that whatever it is he wanted me to do, I would do. But now I moved away, like I had to move states away from him in order to heal myself. Still took a while, but to begin to even know I needed healing and to say, you want to come live in my house? Like literally? No, that can't happen. And I felt really bad I'm like, no, you can't live with me. Um, I wasn't that healed, you know. I felt triggered so badly. I thought if he come live with me, that I would be mean to him, and I didn't want to do that. I felt like if he came and lived with me, everything would go backwards the way it was when I was a child, and I didn't want that. I did tell him though. I said, you could come to Missouri and I will find you a facility and I will, come and visit and things of that nature, but you can't live in my house. And he was so hurt. He didn't understand. And then it's like, well, I don't care if you understand or not. You can't live with me. Um, and, he tried to pretend like he understood and left it alone. And a couple of years later, he passed. So it was weird for me to know who I was and to know that the decision was made for me to move in with my daughter. I thought this might not go well. I prayed on it. Like, why my daughter's house? Like, what? Hmm, I don't know. But if you look at any of the earlier videos, I'm trusting the Most High completely with everything. And if this is where He wants me to go, there's a reason for it. So I'm here. And I felt like that unhealed person was coming back in full force. I'm trying to be the woman Yah has called me to be. But then watching what is going on here, it just made me lose it. Like I'm losing it. I mean, I used to bite my nails till they bled, like literally bled, like off. Like I'm not even kidding. And I remember a doctor telling my father years ago that I've never seen anyone bite their nails off before. She has a very bad nervous condition, you know. And I can remember once I moved away from him and my nails grew and they were long and pretty, I was like, gosh, look how pretty my nails are, you know, because it took forever for me to stop biting my nails. When I say I used to bite my nails off, that my fingers would bleed and it hurt, but it didn't hurt. Like, if that even makes sense, like it hurt, but it was like it was like a release for me though. It was like, yeah, it was like a release. Um, so today I'm 57 years old. My daughter's 31 or 32. I can't remember at this point. My grandson is 10, and I see myself in her and in him. And it's hard to see your mistakes. It's hard to see what you did, you know? And then it makes it even harder when my daughter invites some dude, some boy, I don't know what he's considered to be, to move in. Because um, how they were raised, how we were raised, we never picked the right men. We picked a abuser. We picked some person that was hurt and not, just we picked the wrong ones, period. And so now seeing her with this and seeing my grandson and then this person here, that other me starts coming out. I'm thinking, I thought I was healed from this. When I was dating back in the day, I had no problem punching a man in his face in a heartbeat. I never let no man put his hands on me. That ain't happening. If I have to take out a weapon and take you out, then whatever. Okay. And to see my daughter accept that from a boy, it angers me. And that other me wants to react, right? But the Most High put me here, right? And so I pray and I pray and I pray and I pray and I pray because I don't want to go backwards in any way. Because I know that if I do something that can hurt me or I can hurt him, and then what good is that going to do? There'll be no change. Nothing will change. And then on top of that, she's going to take his side. Even though one day she says, I know you see my eye. And I know you probably think he hit me, but no, it was something in my eye and I moved. Hmm. Yep. And I'm not going to talk about the rest of the things, but yeah, get to the point where he's emotionally um he's not sorry, he's not in control of his emotions, and I don't know what they did or what happened between the two of them, but he's throwing big rocks, huge rocks at the apartment. He gets in the building. Now he's got this big boulder, and I mean big boulder, and he's banging at the door to the point where it's off the hinges. So I call the police. When the police come, they both go to jail because he says she hit him and he had illegal substances on him. So he got arrested for that. But the door is off the hinges, people. There are children in this house. So he's arrested, but only because of the illegal substance? Mm, okay. So then, of course, we have to move. The assistance that you had to help you cover your rent, you lose it, and we end up moving here. So where we are now, there's no washer and dryer, you know. There's a lot going on, and you know, this threw me completely. I'm from an old school. I can wash my clothes in a tub. Too bad I don't have a washboard because they would really come clean. But I wash my clothes by hand in the tub if I need to. But he go wash his clothes, just his, not hers and his, or hers and my grandson. No, no, no. So I'm washing my grandson and my clothes by hand because it is what it is. I know how to adapt. The arguing, the fussing, the things that are going on. I thought I was gonna explode because I literally caught myself putting a knife in under my pillow because I thought I wanted to use it on this person, this boy. I was ready, like just yeah. And the Most High had been telling me reach out, but I'm the type, I keep it to myself. Because over the years, when I would tell people what's going on in my household, they would talk about me, they make jokes about it, and they tell everybody, and I was the butt of everybody's joke. Everybody knew what was going on, but nobody was helping me. So I kind of got it in my head, just keep it to yourself. So I didn't trust people. But the Most High gave me a different family, my SOC family. And I reached out, and I'm so thankful that I did. So I'm going to back up just a tad bit. I remember saying, my daughter and I had a little disagreement. And I was talk like, you're not happy. You need to get away from this. You need to make him get out of here. Like, this is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I know that if this one goes, it'll be a different one, right? So I had to start talking to myself like, you have to pray for the house. You have to pray for him too, right? So I do. I literally do. Because I don't know his background. I don't know what he's been through or whatever. He's considered a YN. So if y'all know what that is. Anywho, so my daughter and I was having a discussion and loudly. And I'm telling her about he this, and this. And she's like, well, you didn't have good boyfriends either. I remember years ago saying my picker was off. Yeah, I picked the wrong ones, right? But mind you, they didn't put their hands on me because I ain't tolerating that. Or you'd have to take me out first. You're not putting your hands on me. I ain't never let no man think that they could put their hands on me. That was a no-no. Okay. But still they weren't the right ones. Right. And I can remember saying, my picker was off. So when she and I had our discussion, our loud discussion, talking about, this relationship you're in or whatever you want to call it. And she throws it up in my face. Yeah, you didn't pick good ones either. No, I didn't. But you know why? We're not supposed to pick. We're supposed to be following the Most High Yah. Be in our work, the purpose that we're here for. And our husband will come pick us. We're not supposed to be picking. That's not how it was designed. That's not how the Most High put it together. We're not supposed to be picking nobody. Our husbands, we're supposed to be we're supposed to be raised as wives. Our husband's supposed to be raised to become a husband. And he's supposed to be the one that come and get us. We don't pick. So of course the picker's off because we're picking it. We're not supposed to pick. Now I'm not saying that there aren't relationships where someone's, chose someone that the Most High didn't bring and they didn't have a wonderful relationship. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying that we're not supposed to pick. That's not how the Most High designed it. So Sunday, this past Sunday, I was at my wits' end. Like I was at my wits' end to see her so sad, my daughter, to see the things that are going on, and she just gonna take up for him no matter what I say. She tells me, I assume this is happening. I assume you think you heard this. You think yeah, okay, okay. So Sundays is our beloved pastor and his beautiful wife and their handsome prince Solomon, um, his beautiful wife Elder Maya. It's their family day on Sunday. So after pastor has preached 3 to 4 hours, now he is family day, and that's it. It's family day. But I was at my wits' end, and the Most High downloaded it again. Reach out. So I send Elder Maya a message, and I'm like, I know it's your family day, and I'm so sorry to interrupt your family day. But I had to do it because if I didn't do it Sunday, I probably wouldn't have done it at all. And I was so surprised to see she responded. I'm like, oh, I'm just so thankful to be a part of SOC. I'm so thankful that I was searching for the Most High, and He sent me to one that He sent Pastor Kofi. He sent Pastor Kofi to teach, to preach. So, Elder Maya, she talks to me, through text because I don't have a phone, you guys. So we're texting because I do the Google Voice, which was a thing that I could use as a telephone, but things keep happening, so I'm not able to use it as a phone anymore, but I can text. So she reached out to me and now, mind you, Pastor Kofi, Elder Alma, super busy, super busy. I don't know how they get rest, honestly. Super busy. And she told me, we'll chat tomorrow. They put a Zoom call together. She said we can, because I can, interact on a Zoom call, which is weird, but it is what it is. So first of all, their family day, she read my message, and then the next day, she's making time just to hear me, just to listen to me, just to give me support. And then she said, "Do you mind if I have someone else join the call?" And I don't know why Minister Anais was the first person I thought of because we have some awesome, awesome ministers in SOC. But a Minister Anais was the one that I thought of initially. She's so beautiful, and I love to listen to her. Again, we have awesome ministers, and I love to listen to them. Truly, Minister Anais. Now, Elder Alma didn't tell me it was her. I just felt it was going to be her. And then to see her face on the Zoom call, I started crying all of just immediately because, first of all, I felt seen, I felt cared for, I I felt important enough for someone to take the time out of their busy day to check on me and see what I needed. I'm sorry. So, yesterday, they talked with me, they listened to me, and then they prayed with me and prayed for me in this household. And I felt so uplifted. Um, these are not sad tears. I felt so uplifted, you know, in my own family. Um, okay, so the way my dad raised me, he didn't really want me to have too much interaction with people because he didn't want me to talk about what was going on in our household. But there were a few people that he would allow me to spend some time with, um, but not many. And because I didn't know who my mother was and I didn't, have a clue, um, if my mom had other children or whatever, I didn't know the dynamic of her life or that side of my family. Um, so when I was like 31, I found my mom and I found out that I had other siblings, and I, I don't know, I felt a connection, even though the first interaction my mom and I had on the phone was weird because when I called her, now mind you, I had been looking for her for a while after after I found out like what her name was and stuff like that. I think I made a video about that, but I mean, this video is already 40 minutes in, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up a little bit. So, my mom had other children, and so my father, I think I've mixed up some time here. Hold on. Before, I don't know. I can't. Y'all have to excuse me. Time sometimes is jumbled up in my head. Like I can't put the time. Sometimes I try to remember by age and sometimes that gets mixed up. But just let me just say this. When I found my mom the first time, I can't even say if I was 31. Maybe it was 31 when I saw her the first time. I don't really know. I can't remember. Um, but finding out that I had other siblings, I was raised as an only child, so I was really excited about that. I was really excited to meet them all. But my first and initial conversation with my mom, she answers the phone and I was like, "Can I speak to Emma?" And she was like, "This is Emma." And I said, "I'm your daughter." And she said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "What's your name?" And I told her what my name was. And she asked me what my father's name was. And I told her what his name was. And she hung up on me. And I was just like, wait, why did she hang up? So in one of my other videos, I think I talked about it, but I did have some information. I got it later in life because I had started going to therapy, and the therapist told my dad he ought to give me some information so I can find her. So I went and got that information. It had her social on there, it had his name and her name, and I started really looking at it, and I'm like, oh, hmm. That's not the name that I knew him by. And I've always had, I'm not gonna say always, but once I had the paperwork, it was their taxes that they had filed from them being married. I, I mean, I looked at it, but I guess I didn't really look at it until that day my mom hung up on me. And I'm like, that's not the name he told her. Like, I just never tripped off of it. Like, wait a minute, this is not the name I've been knowing him by. His name on their taxes was Jack. So I called back. She answered. I'm like, please don't hang up. I said, I got y'all's information. I got your information when y'all filed your taxes, and I see it on here. His name was Jack. So she didn't hang up. I knew him as Willie. I didn't know Jack. Never knew him as a Jack. I knew Willie Bill Belton. That's who I knew. She knew Jack because that's who they were married under. That's the name he married her under. So once she realized I was not a fake, the next thing she said was, "Your auntie would be so happy to hear from you." And I just was like thinking, like, well, aren't you happy to hear from me? Like, why would my auntie be so happy to hear from me? I found out later on that my aunt was going to take me and raise me. Um, but yeah, so back to, my story is, it's a lot, so forgive me for jumping all around. So after having a conversation and having them pray for me and with me, I felt so lifted. And it's a difference when you have people that pray for you that you know where their prayers are going to, who they actually are praying to. Like you see their life and you see, I mean, and here's the crazy part. I've never met any of these people in person. It's all been online, everything, you know. So, but I could still tell. I trust these people. I do. Um, I trust that the prayers was real. I trust their advice, and I trust them because the Most High is telling me I can trust them, right? I got the advice that, you're healing, and I've always said that I'm healing, but I'm not healed because I've been through way too much to be healed so quickly. This has been actually the abuse was since I was 2. And the only reason why I know that is because of what my dad actually told me. And he told the stories as if it was nothing, and I believe the things he said to me because I would have visions of certain things, and it was it was actually where we lived, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that. I can remember that." But it's just bits and pieces, and the older I get, the less I can remember, but I've been abused my whole life. Being loved on and cared for and seen was not a part of it. And now that I'm watching my children, it's hard. It's hard. But I still trust the Most High Yah. And I know that I'm here for a reason. And because I know that, because I'm telling you, I've been ready to go. I'm one of those, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to move on. And I'm ready to move now because I don't like this. But I was told, do not abort the mission. And I'm like, okay, I knew that. I knew I'm not supposed to do that. But I feel like I need to do that because I don't like living in this situation. But I have to trust him. Trust the Most High. This might hurt, but it's a healing process still. I'm still in my healing journey, you know? And that's why I keep telling you all about just this channel, my books. It's all my healing journey, all of it. It's the journey of me healing me through the things I've been through. And I know, back in the day, I just think I'm the only one that's gone through a crazy life like this. And then you realize, no, there are a lot of people that's been through a crazy life like this. One of my counselors told me, I was probably in my 20s, he said, it's a wonder that you're not schizophrenic. And I used to think, well, maybe I am. I'm bipolar. You know, one minute I'm happy, one minute I'm not. One minute I'm ready to take your neck off, and another minute I'm just happy and, everything's good. I didn't know if I was coming or going, not knowing that I'm supposed to trust the Most High Yah. I'm supposed to be on the path He sets for me. Stop picking men. I'm supposed to be the chosen one. I'm supposed to be chosen. And I'm not looking for Him because I'm in my work. I'm supposed to be in my work, be in my purpose. And He'll come because He'll see me. The Most High will show Him. There she is. Apologize if this video is almost an hour long. I've never done a video that long, I don't think. And I'm sure I'll probably have lost people along the way of this video. But I want you to know that if you've made it this far, that no matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done, no matter who you used to be, He can call you out of that and turn it all around for His glory. You have to trust Him, but you have to have an intimate relationship with Him. And the only way you're going to know that is by praying, reading the Word, finding a family like SOC so that you can have like-minded people around to help you when you're going through, because the enemy is coming. He's going to come even harder to get you off your game. So to have like-minded people around that you could call, that can talk to you, that can hug you, can pray for you, can pray all with you, you need that. I mean it, you need that. As long as you have another day on earth, every day that you wake up is a chance to get it right. Another day that you wake up on this earth is another day that you can change everything. Don't allow what you've been through to stop you becoming who He's called you to be. I know it's not easy. Anything worth having, it's never easy. But the one thing I want you to remember is that if He's brought you to it, He'll bring you through it. But you have to trust Him. You have to read His word so that you can understand. You have to pray. You have to walk out on faith. You have to put your faith in action. You got to put it in action. You can't pray without faith. You can't read His word and not have faith in His word. It all works together. The three of them, praying, faith, and reading. It's all one thing that you need. And that's why I tell people all the time, hashtag FINDKOFI, hashtag find Kofi. It's a great place to start. He will teach you the truth. The other ministers that are in our family will also teach you the truth. And then to have a real family. Not the saying that the family that I have on earth is not my real family. That's not what I mean. Because let me tell you, in the beginning, when I, met my sisters and all, and my brother, I didn't feel no love. I didn't feel no connection. I just felt like I was just, and that was probably just my own personal belief. That was just how I felt about me, not have no bearings on how they felt about me at all. That's just how I felt because it didn't happen, or the relationship, or the just things didn't go the way I felt that they should go. And we're all older now. We still keep in touch. My beautiful young baby sister, well, she was my first person to buy a book for me. It made me smile, made my heart smile so much. But please don't give up. Know that there's more for you, but you have to make a choice. You have to know that is what I've been through. That's not me. That's the stuff I've done, but that's still not me. The Most High has something special in you and for you. And because you've been through so much, that lets me know that whatever He's given you to do is big, it's huge. But He also knew that you can handle it. That's why you're still here. He knows us better than we know ourselves. That's why we're not supposed to pick a man. We're not supposed to be picking. He already know who He has to be our husband or to be our wives. So just be in your purpose, be in your work, and those things will come. It'll happen. And let's just be clear, sometimes it may not happen because not everybody is meant to be married to a person. But we're all are meant to be married to the Most High. If you're a man, you're married to the Most High. If you're a woman, you are married to the Most High. I am His wife. And until Or if he doesn't bring me a husband here on earth, I'm still his wife and I'm supposed to act accordingly. Now, I'm still learning all of this, so I may not make it make sense, but Pastor Kofi has thousands, and I mean literally thousands of videos that can make it make better sense. Pastor Kofi has a way with words, not just him. Our ministers, they have a way with words. Elder Maya, thank you so much. I love you. Minister Anais, thank you so much. I love you. Y'all made me feel special. You made me feel seen, and I appreciate it so much. Again, I'm sorry that this video was so long, but it was needed. So stop picking women. We're not picking husbands or boyfriends. We don't supposed to be dating. We're supposed to be a wife. Respect yourself. Respect the Most High. Be in your purpose. If you don't know what that is, pray about it. Read your word. He'll show you. But when he shows you, follow him. Trust me, 9 times out of 10, what he asks you to do when you're following him, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. You be like, I don't want to do that, but you got to do it. It's the only way you're gonna get where you're supposed to go. We keep trying to make decisions for our lives and other people's lives for that matter. We have no idea what we're doing. I made a video said consult the manufacturer. He knows. He put us together. He knows what's in us. The enemy knows what's in us too. That's why he does what he does. That's how he knows how to get us. That's how he knows how to get us, knock us off our game. Because he knows us better than we know ourselves. Trust the process. Know that the Most High would never put you through more than you can deal or handle. And I know, because I've been through some stuff that I didn't think I'd be able to make it through it, and I'm still here. It hasn't killed me. What Pastor Kofi said, you have survived 100% of everything you've been through. I'm like, yep, that is true. Now you might be a little bruised, but you're still here. So don't give up. Read your word. Pray. Use your faith. Follow the Most High. Stop making decisions for yourself because you don't know what you need. You don't know what you want. Pray about it. Ask Him to show you. Ask Him for wisdom. And find you a family that are like minded, following the Most High in their work that the Most High has given them so that you can see it. You need those models. We need those models so that we can see it. I'm telling you, coming to SOC is one of the best decisions you'd make. But there are others out there. But I'm partial to Pastor Kofi and my SOC family. Again, I apologize that this video was an hour long. But I pray that it reaches the ones that it's supposed to reach. Like it, share it, comment, be respectful, or I will block you. And know that as long as you wake up to see another day, it's another day to get it right. I love you. Shalom, family.